One of the very first things that God's Word brings to our life is light and life. Everybody here is alive because God made us alive. The light that He made on the first day shows us that God is able to make things that we can't understand and that we don't even recognize and make them understandable and seeable. He helps us to understand the world that He's created for us and to see how we should live in that world. Without God speaking to us and showing us how the world really is, we will live our lives as though everything is dark and we can't see anything. Things will have shapes, but we won't know what they are for or how they can be used without the light that God has given to us. Just for a moment, try and imagine a world without light. Not just the way that a blind person could imagine it, because even a blind person has people who can see and describe the world to them. Try and imagine a world without light where nobody knows what anything looks like, what anything is useful for, and nobody knows what is safe or dangerous. Before God spoke on the first day of creation, that is exactly how things were. But when God spoke, everything changed. Suddenly the world and everything that existed started to make more sense. What God would do in the next few days would be clearly seen. And the bringing of God's light through God speaking it into existence was the starting point for all life that now exists on this planet. The Bible tells us that God's Word is a light to my path. His Word shows me the correct way to walk and keeps me from stumbling and falling like those who do the wrong things and walk around in darkness. We have the words that God spoke to us through men and women who heard and recorded what God said in the book called the Bible. These words from God came to us from people who heard God's voice. Other people who knew that these words were the voice of God carefully wrote them down, and others kept them safe so that we could have the words that God has spoken available to all of us today. And God is still speaking to us. His desire is that His voice would be heard by every person in the world who knows Jesus. He wants to speak to us, not just through the words in the Bible that He gave to us through others. He also wants to speak to us personally, so that He can give us life and give us light, to be able to show us everything that He wants to give to us and that He has for us.